Good day, everyone. My name is Giancarlo Berasis, and welcome to this webinar. Today, we will be discussing is all about a research entitled "Captivating to the Masses Factors Consumers Consider in Choosing from Counterfeited Brands Rather than the Authentic Brands." Over the past few years, the consumers have experienced a radical shift in how businesses are conducted and how people interact with companies. The introduction of companies to the business industry has an immense impact on how businesses operate and market the consumers. The role of the consumers is to determine whether to shop from the original brand and how they see the sense of imitating the known products. With the growth of brands in advanced countries, the Philippines also encounter imitators lead them to efficiently connect with the consumers about their products using direct and indirect marketing such as feedbacks, ratings, and consumers have been commonly attracted to these. This consideration lead the consumers to buy counterfeited products. Imitators pose a significant threat to legitimate companies, but far too many remain unaware of full scope of copycat brands' effect on authentic brands. Copycats can work somewhat efficiently online by copying a company's design and logos and combining their map of brands with online product reviews. The product images used are often the brand owner's real pictures, leaving the consumer guessing what is authentic or not. Despite a government campaign and operation against counterfeiting and piracy persist in the Philippines. Because of widespread usage of internet, counterfeiting and piracy are still prevalent. Despite the government's best efforts, criminals manage to avoid being apprehended and prosecuted. As a result, close cooperation with other departments is critical. Hence, this study aims to determine the impact of counterfeited brands on authentic brands in the business industry based on consumers' perceptions. The different outcome of this problem still exists and its impact on our business industry. The possible solutions to consider preventing unreasonable and unethical imitations of brands and protect its original brand owners. The researchers want to know the perception of first-year college students taking Bachelor of Science in Accountancy in the captivating to the masses factors consumers consider choosing from counterfeited brand rather than authentic brand through evaluating preferences. The goal of this quantitative research is to determine the interest of first-year college students of Bachelor of Science in Accountancy in Far Eastern University in buying counterfeited brand items and authentic brand items. The following will benefit the analysis. The business owners. This study aims at helping the owners. For this will be their basis to take necessary action against unethical and non-ending copycat brands. This research is also going to help them to identify the changes in customer behavior and their respective decision-making in purchasing goods. Lastly, is to help the owners to make a suitable and appropriate strategy to appeal various customers. Next one, the consumers. This will be their guide to determine the brands against the business industry's copycat brands and prevent them from buying low quality and dupe brands. It also aims to give the customers insights of being smart on making their decisions. Henceforth, that they would not be deceived by false advertisements. Lastly, future researchers and analysts. This study aims to help future researchers to make a further research on the methods of determining consumers' perception. This might be their preference in future researchers. This study aims to find the consumers' consideration that pursue consumers to choose good brands. The intention of study is to know how counterfeited products affect the authentic brand's reputation and the consumer's reasons to purchase. Moreover, this study will not cover other issues that are not regarded as possible significant effect of authentic brands. Although the research has its aims, the results will be only significant and limited to the respondents of the study. Therefore, those who are not affiliated with the population of this study are not. The researchers has chosen to use the scripted research design using quantitative method in gathering data about consumers' perception on choosing between counterfeited brands and authentic brands. The researchers chose this research design because it uses a variety of ways by various organizations, particularly when obtaining information about their target audience. It is used to determine the subject's characteristics, such as their traits, behavior, and opinions. This data we gathered through surveys, which are shared by the respondents who are research subject in this case. The data collection will be conducted and estimated student of first year BS accountancy is 1,000 and we only base the number of students in the Facebook group with a total number of 441 members and we limited it to 59 randomly selected first-year BS accountancy students who are most likely to be exposed to internet shopping applications such as Instagram, Facebook, Shopee, Lazada, and official brands of online shops. The researchers chose this bracket of respondents due to the vast population of whole BS accountancy from all year levels. Using the solving formula, the margin of error is 10% and the confidence level is at 90%. As a result, it is better to select a smaller population, which is the first year colleges. This chapter of data presentation consists of analysis and interpretation of data collected. In this section, tables and graphs are used to easily determine the presentation of said outcomes. The bar graph above shows the age of respondents among all the respondents. From Institute of Accounts, Business and Finance, there's 47.5% who are at age 19. Both 18 and 20 years old comes next, which equally equivalent to 22%. Lastly, 8.5% of the respondents are 21 years old. This graph clearly showed that the majority of the respondents of Institute of Accounts, Business and Finance are most likely 19 years old. For the next figure that shows the gender of our respondents, the pie chart above shows the frequency per gender. This chart showed that 62.7% of our respondents from Institute of Accounts, Business and Finance are all female. 21.1% of overall respondents are male and 8.5 are LGBTQ. The majority of our respondents who answered this survey are females. For the next figure, we're just focusing on factors in buying dupe versions. This bar graph shows the percentage of respondents who consider specific factor in buying dupe versions We see the quality, the price, social class, won't change anything or only for its use. As shown in the graph, 76.3% of the respondents consider buying loop versions because of quality. Next is price, which is equivalent to 7.2% of total respondents. Lastly, 1.7% from the respondents consider only its for use. For the figure 4, familiar brands. This graph shows the number of respondents who are familiar with each given brands. And for the next figure, which is how often does the consumers buy counterfeited brand items? Figure 13 shows that with a total number of 59 responses, only 55 respondents buy counterfeited items less than 3 times in 1 year. At the same time, two respondents buy 4 to 6 times in 1 year, and one respondent buy counterfeit items more than 10 times in 1 year. In contrast, none of the respondents buys 7 to 9 times of counterfeit items per year. For the last figure, impact of counterfeit items in business industries, which is shown in Figure 16. Figure 16 shows that 32 respondents think that the main impact of counterfeit products against authentic ones is that there will be more business shops that will sell counterfeit brands. However, 27 respondents think that consumers will buy counterfeit brands rather than authentic ones. 25 respondents think that the most of the consumers can save money in spending on counterfeit brands. And 6 respondents think that everyone will have the means to buy a famous brand. In contrast, one of the respondents thinks that it somehow seemed to be practical. Based on the figures presented, the following conclusions are extended. Majority of the respondents are female accounting students with the age of 18 years old. Majority of the respondents consider the price of the quality in buying counterfeited brand products. Most of the respondents cannot afford buying authentic products. Majority of the respondents thinks that there will be more business shops that will sell counterfeited brands or items. In recommendation for business owners, the owner should upgrade their quality and the looks of the product made than the counterfeited ones. The researchers recommend that they should make their product more unique and durable. In addition, most respondents consider buying counterfeit items because the quality and the looks are really identical to the authentic ones. For the consumers should not buy products unless it is an authentic store or brand because this will prevent you from purchasing a counterfeit product. The researchers recommend that consumers support authentic products rather than the counterfeit products. By doing this, it will avoid getting more other shops that sell counterfeit brands. For the future researchers and analysts, respondents who buy counterfeit products see its usefulness even if it's fake. The researchers recommend that to the current and future researchers that they should not misjudge respondents who buy counterfeit products. It would help if the future researchers would further research this topic to find answers on what problem arises after purchasing counterfeit products.